guys, Dr. Christy Ennis, physical therapist, nutritionist, and personal trainer and women's health specialist. And today I am going to talk to you about how to get rid of pain with sex. Now, this is a very sensitive but important topic. So many people just think they either can't have sex anymore or they just have to suffer through. But there are actually multiple things that you can do to make this more comfortable, which makes it better for you and your partner. So any partners out there, make sure that you're listening to this too so you know how to help and you guys can both have a more enjoyable experience. So number one is lubrication. And lubrication is one of those things where too much is actually a good thing and not enough is very much not a good thing. And this applies for any age. Most people think we only need it as we get older, but that's not true. Again, you can't go wrong with lubrication. It just makes things feel better. And if you do have any dryness due to hormones or medication or any other reason, then lubrication is extra important. Now, it's not just the lubrication that's important, but it's the type of lubrication. You guys have probably all heard of Astroglide and KY jelly. Those are the ones that are very common and popular in the drugstores, but they are not the best for our bodies. Now, the reason that is because they contain something called glycerin. And glycerin can actually dry you out even more, which would be totally counterproductive and can even cause a yeast infection. Again, not something that anybody ever really wants to experience, and that kind of puts a damper on sex a little bit there too, okay? So what you want to look for is something that is either water-based or something that is silicone-based. And I've got the one that I tend to use a fair amount is called Sliquid. And of course, they all have really awesome, fun names, right? My next job is marketing this stuff. But this is a silicone one, and it's glycerin-free, paraben-free, so something like that. Also, in a pinch, even coconut oil works really well, and grapeseed oil. Okay, so stay away from the Astroglide and the KY jelly, but yes, use lubrication. That's number one. Now, number 2, 3, 4, 5, the next steps actually all deal with the pelvic floor. Now, the pelvic floor, you maybe have heard of Kegels, right? Those are the muscles that you're working on. What happens with those muscles is that very often they get tight, okay? Think about this. So let's say my bicep muscle is tight. That's what I'm going to use as a comparison. And I go around poking it. It's not going to feel really good, right? If I relax that bicep, oh my gosh, all of a sudden, my finger can go in a little bit deeper, okay? It works the same way with those pelvic floor muscles. So if the pelvic floor muscles are tight or there's a knot in those pelvic floor muscles, any type of penetration is going to be difficult and very uncomfortable, okay? So number one to work on all of those pelvic muscles is actually diaphragm breathing. So most of us know how to deep breathe, but we don't necessarily know how to do it correctly. The diaphragm and the pelvic floor work in coordination with one another. So if you can rest your hands on your belly, when you take a breath in, you want to fill the belly up. And when you breathe out, let the belly go. Notice I'm not sucking in, right? And then let go. This is a great, easy way to work on just relaxing those pelvic floor muscles, okay? You can do this anywhere, lying down, sitting up, whatever you want to do, okay? I usually tell people, try to do just as many repetitions as you can during the day. It actually calms down the nervous system too, which again, that's always a good thing too. Now to add on to that a little bit, we're gonna add a little leg motion with that breathing. And so that is gonna look like you're going to breathe in and those legs and feet are going to roll out. And then when you breathe out, legs and feet roll in. So breathe in and breathe out. Again, it takes a little bit of coordination and practice, but if I were to hook those pelvic floor muscles up to a little machine, it would actually show them contracting and relaxing, and then eventually going to a lower resting state, which is exactly what you want those muscles to do, okay? Number 3 is to work on things externally. So you have some muscles in the groin and in the butt and the back that attach right into those same areas where those pelvic floor muscles are. So the biggest muscle problems I see are in the adductors, which are those inner thigh muscles. So doing some self-massage, I'm using the Derma Edge right now, to start to loosen those up really can make a big difference internally. So there, you want to make sure you get into that hip area. And then I'm going to turn a little bit more so you can see I'm almost getting right into the tailbone and coccyx. Again, a little bit weird and awkward, right? So maybe do this one at home. But working on these muscles externally allows those internal muscles to relax. So you want to do that until it feels a little less tight. And then some great stretching to follow with. Feet together, knees dropped open. You could either start here or even add a little and fold a little bit forward to get a little bit more stretch there. And then to get another stretch, if you go ahead and straighten those legs out. And again, you can lean forward with it if it feels good, or even just staying here if that's hard to get into, or the other one. Propping your hips up on a pillow, this isn't adjusted totally properly, but propping your hips up on a pillow make this a little bit more comfortable and tolerable as well. And then the other one I like that you guys have seen, again, if you watch these videos, crossing one leg over, bringing that thigh up, and then even adding a little rotation actually gets a little bit more of a stretch through there. Remember, no pain though. These are supposed to be comfortable and feel good, okay? So loosen the muscles up first and then stretch them. And then to actually get those muscles internally, you need to use something internally. So they make this tool called a dilator, which you insert to work on stretching or trigger point work. I don't have one with me here, but it's a very basic shape, and they come in different sizes depending on where your tightness is. So if everything feels tight right with the insertion, the initial penetration, that means the whole thing is probably tight. And you're going to want to start with a smaller dilator that you just insert and you literally just let it rest there. Once that feels okay, then you can kind of move back and forth so that you're stretching those muscles just like if you were to stretch your arm or anything like that. If you happen to have those knots I was talking about, either using that or a pelvic floor massage tool to angle in to where those spots are tight, and then you're going to add, like a trigger point release would be in any of the other techniques that I've shown. So it's holding that spot down till you reach about a 4 out of 10 pain, and you're holding it there until it feels better. And then you release that spot gently. So again, to really get to those spots, you have to do it internally. It's hard to just poke around and do it from the outside, okay? That is the last step, though. I always try to have people do as much as they can externally to make it a little bit more comfortable and obviously easier to do. So those are some great ways to work on all of that pelvic stuff that usually plays a huge role in pain. Work on this stuff just 5 minutes a day and you should notice a difference. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you need more help, as I said before, women's health is one of my specialties, and I actually do online and in-person treatments, so you can always give me a call. Thanks, guys, and stay tuned for more.